Hi, my name's Kelly. I live in this 2019 Ford Transit van. I was living it full-time, but I moved to part-time due to my work, but I'm still living the nomadic life. And I'm actually getting ready for my first renter, which involves a lot of cleaning and maintenance and detailing of the van. While I was doing that, I came across all of the things that I have in this van, and I wanted to share with you my top 10 favorite things that I have in my van. So everything is in complete disarray. Right in front of you is virtually everything that I own in this van, which is pretty wild to see it all in front of you. Quite a lot of stuff. I was cleaning this van out to host my first renter. I want to make sure that I am only leaving really what's necessary. So I'm thinking to myself, what would I absolutely miss out if I didn't have this in the van? So I'm going to share that with you right now. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you today, absolutely cannot live without, and I've started to use it a lot more than I used to, is my Ninja blender. It uses 700 watts, but I run it for maybe 15 to 30 seconds. So it's really energy efficient for my setup. And the nice thing is once you're done blending, you have what you've made in this cup. So it's really good for single serve recipes like smoothies or whatnot. Just has been really great for anything I've needed. I've even made salad dressings in this and whipped up some other things, but I really love this, and I got it from a friend, so it was free 99, and I really love using it, and it was something I would definitely recommend over a massive blender. It just really is the perfect size for van life. This is something I recently got, and I don't know how I have gone without it, but I purchased the Living in a Bubble bug screen. It's magnetic, so it fits around the trim of any door you want to put it on, and it fits on the back of my transit doors and this side one. I really love it. It's a really easy way to mitigate the bugs if you want to leave the doors open, and you can put it on either door. This does work best on the back door for this one, since you go in and out of it so much. It's probably better to have something a little more permanent, but I'm just not there yet. Speaking of bugs, there's my arch nemesis, the wasp. I really love this Living in a Bubble, and it's so small and conveniently just sits up in my headliner shelf. Love it, highly recommend. I always get asked if I have a heater in my van or how I manage to stay warm when it's cold. I do not have an installed heater. However, I ran wiring for that, so maybe it's in the future. The way that I stay warm is using a heated blanket. This is something I could not live without. It is amazing. I got it at Walmart. It only draws 100 watts and it has 3 different settings. So when I'm going to bed, I have it sandwiched between my sheet and my comforter. Right before bed, maybe 15-30 minutes before, I get in, turn it on high, and then my bed is nice and cozy warm for when I get into it. And oftentimes, I've been in 17-degree weather. It's kept me so cozy warm, and I love it. Highly recommend. If you don't have a heated blanket, what are you doing? Something that I think about a lot when I'm traveling in the van is water consumption. Most of the time I'm pretty good about filling up my tank, but in the off chance that there's an emergency, I always love to carry an extra water bottle, and I like the stainless steel because it's easy and big enough for me to carry into a location and fill it up, a fountain or a sink. This is 64 ounces of water, get me through drinking and then some cooking and some cleaning. I actually have 2 instruments in the van, but I would say that something I really do love having is my ukulele. It's really fun to have just a hobby while you're traveling. Ukulele is a great, easy one to learn. You can learn a lot of songs and just pull it out with friends or by yourself. It's one I got from a friend, shout out to Maureen Hunt. And a lot of time by myself, and I'm so comfortable with that. Having an instrument can make it a lot more fun and just a way to have a hobby and pass the time. This is your sign to buy a ukulele to pass the time. It's a little out of tune, but love my ukulele, love having a guitar, so get yourself an instrument. Even if you don't play, it's a fun thing to learn while living on the road. I just talked about the electric blanket, and my heating system is a 2-part process. The heated blanket is one, but the other is my toaster oven. I love this toaster oven. It's a Mueller. It has 1100 watts. I use it all the time. I can do cookies, grilled cheese, thing that's frozen. And when I say I use it as a heater, I will set it up on my countertop. I will turn it to 400 degrees. I will crank it on and leave the door open, and it heats the van space. The van space is so small, especially because I have my garage blocked off. So it heats the space so quickly, and it's electric, so it's an efficient way to just heat up the van when I need it. If you're also like me and not sure about your heating system, this is a great alternative to keeping the van warm and having an oven. I love living in the van, but sometimes I just want to be outside and stay outside. So I do have an Eno hammock. I have the extending straps, and I do have some cardboard with me because some national forests and national parks require you to put cardboard around the tree, between the tree and your straps, to help prevent damage to the tree. It's super easy to set up, relaxing, way to kind of have a lounge space outside of the van. You know, double nest hammock, get yourself one. I am a big breakfast girl and I like to take my time and cook a nice breakfast, and so I ended up getting a Dash waffle iron. I got it at the thrift store and it has little gingerbread in it. I make waffles a lot of the time when I'm with friends or just feeling like I want a slower morning. This definitely doesn't take a lot of energy. 350 watts. I really like this. It's small and it just makes the perfect amount of waffles for one person. I feel very lucky that I've yet to call a tow truck while living in the van, and that is in part to these overland traction pads. These I bought for Baja, and I was hopeful maybe we wouldn't have to use them a lot, and we ended up using them quite a few times for my rig and then other rigs that needed assistance. These traction pads are great. I ended up buying a shovel. These recovery boards are great. They've gotten us out of a lot of sticky situations in sand, and I've heard they work in snow. I don't really venture into the snow in the van. It's really nice to have them. It's cracked after the third use, but they're still very usable, and I really like them. They were definitely on the pricier side for about 200 bucks, but the thing is, I thought about the cost of a tow and was like, this is definitely the better alternative. So get yourself some recovery boards. You won't regret it. It's one of those things where you just want to be prepared, because the second you don't have these, you're going to wish that you did. This next thing I'm not going to physically show you with my hands, but I love having my Nature's Head composting toilet in the van. Being a solo traveler, I don't have to leave the van to relieve myself. It's really convenient, and I was really surprised by how much I use it. It's been a great way to just make living in a van as a solo person a lot easier and simpler and just safer. There are tons of other toilets out there. I went with Nature's Head partially because I had a discount. Any mode of a toilet of any sort is going to be really beneficial while living in a van. When I first got on the road, I ended up switching phone carriers. I wanted to try something different, and T-Mobile had an amazing promotion going on. And when I told my sales agent that I lived in a van and was looking for something in the way of a SIM card for data, I recommended that I get this. It plugs into your diagnostic port, and it does a lot of really amazing things for me, especially when I'm away from the van. This device tracks my mileage, which is huge as a self-employed individual. It also tracks where the van is. If I park somewhere and I forget where the van is, I can find it easily. Also, it just gives me a lot of peace of mind when I'm away from the van that if anything were to happen, it's being tracked. It also notifies me issues with my engine, low on gas, shares information about engine health, oil change, things like that. So I get 10% off from my insurance per month using this device. It does cost $20 a month, and it has 2 gigabytes of data, and it notifies me also if there's any impact. It's really nice because sometimes when I'm away from the van, it'll notify me, hey, there's been a disturbance. Sometimes it's a car getting a little too close, like a car has a really loud engine, it'll pick that up, but really it's like any sort of bumping or opening of anything. Really gives me peace of mind, convenient, and highly recommend having something like this in your vehicle. I know a lot of people use AirTags, but having the feature to tell you when something's gone wrong, like a disturbance, is huge. Well, that's all I have to share with you today. Thanks so much for watching my 10 favorite things that I have in my van. If you have any other questions about van life, living in a van, the nomadic life, anything, please feel free to reach out to me. Follow me on social media at Beach in a Van. Make sure to subscribe so I can keep making these videos for you, and really appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you out there on the road.